Hello, this is Scott from Paper or Plastic. Happy Star Trek Day. Today is September 8th, 2023, and my store is we have an account with Alliance, and I am at the Alliance open house today where WizKids announced a brand new Star Trek game, Star Trek Into the Unknown. I was thrilled because I was a huge Star Trek Attack Wing player, and I really wanted to find out what this was all about after they teased it out last year at the open house, and I was rewarded in a great way today. So tonight, I sat down with John from WizKids, who walked me through a demo of the retail kit that will be coming out before the release of this new game. And he walked me through the demo. And so what you see is not anywhere near what's going to be included in the starter set. It just has the USS Defiant and one of the small Jem'Hadar ships in it. But it gives you enough to feel for the game and see what it's all about. It's dripping with theme. I'm really looking forward to see what's going on with this. The ships are to scale. The Enterprise D looks amazing. They showed off a saucer separation where you can actually work them independently of each other. So many things going on. This game is based on a Dominion War overall aspect from the starter set perspective. They do plan on having a lot of expansions and moving on to all kinds of other things they want to do. Original series and other things, but first they're focusing on the Dominion War. It's supposed to initially release in April of 2024. All kinds of good information and things like that, but I want to show off the demo that he gave, and hopefully all of you will enjoy what I just experienced tonight. Let's have a look.
Cool, so let's review what we're trying to do in this game. So you're playing the Defiant. These are all of your officers that are scattered around your ship. The best place for this character is going to be down here.
Okay.
This is my ship over here. Let's reset all of the stuff here. So you want to probably be on, I would recommend being on Green Alert 2. So you're going to know that by looking at the last little symbol here. It's got two little dots and it's got a green symbol at the very end.
Green.
So it's kind of like the second stage of Green Alert, right before you get to yellow.
Green Alert 2, got it.
Cool. And then you want to make sure that all the rest of these stats here, you want to turn them until they have a little star next to them. So you got 6 hull, or 6 reserve, 5 hull in my case, and these other stats.
And it's in the green one, or the blue one too?
Yeah. All of those. You are going to have the first turn, so you're going to have priority here. Or actually, why don't we do this? Roll those 2 dice. I'm going to roll these 2 dice, whereas the most successes gets the first turn. I got 1. You got 3. So you get to go first, my man.
I saw him. He was
Hello. Do you want to play?
I'm still absorbing the rules. I'm going to try and play at the end of the night where I've watched enough where I think I can get around.
Okay, sure, man. No
because I'm trying to see how hard it is to learn, basically by someone explaining and then play.
Sure, okay.
So rather than getting just the walkthrough.
Okay, no problem. So we're setting these. These are our current directive cards. This is telling us that if we decide to go weapons hot and attack one another, we're going to get 2 of these negative victory point tokens. And what we want is as many victory points as we can by the end of the game, but this is going to count against our score.
And it's just the person who first initiates violence,
They suffer
right?
the penalty because if that happens, then your opponent gets the opportunity to flip theirs over for free.
Yeah, so they flip with no penalty.
Yeah, and then it changes your directive stuff because you can regain victory points back by destroying ships.
Okay.
So there's a negative up front, but you can recoup it in the
There's
end.
an upfront negative where you just blow them away.
Yeah, exactly right. Cool, okay, so your first action is you want to enter this system because this is where all the action is happening.
Okay.
And what we're trying to do in this particular scenario is we're trying to interact with these objective tokens. which I need to put a couple more back
Here,
in.
I'm presuming I'm cheating by having one on my ship
You
already.
should not have one on your ship. What are you doing? All right, so then we got these here, and then you got one blue one that goes on that one too. So that'll go right there. So the deal is that the objectives that have your color, you're the blue player, I'm the orange player. The ones that have the blue tokens on them are easier for you to achieve than these ones.
Okay.
So just food for thought on that. And then let's put that one here, and let's put this one. Screw it, let's put this right dead center in the middle. Let's do that. So the first thing you have to do is you have to enter the system, and the only way you can enter systems, because currently we are in deep space, we're outside. We have to engage a warp maneuver first, and the warp action is right up here, warp.
Okay.
And these first three symbols indicate the cost for you in order to perform that. And you see, in order for you to satisfy that cost, it's based off of these symbols right here. So Cisco, for example, has 2 social, 1 tech, and 1 security. So right now we need these 2 symbols, which he has in spades, but you have to spend 1 extra reserve, which is this lightning bolt symbol, to perform your warp action. So you're going to have to move that down by 1, and then you look at your speed, which is currently 9.
Okay.
Whenever you perform a warp maneuver, you can move up to twice that, but it's only in a straight line.
Okay.
So just for the sake of setup for this mission, go ahead and point your ship towards wherever you really want to go. One of this objective or that objective, what would I recommend?
Okay.
And then I'm going to point mine over here, this way. And then you're going to perform a warp move. So the easiest way to do that is just, what I do is I just find a point on the base, so usually on one side of these indentations, and then I just slide. If it's a straight move, you don't have to mess with this movement tool at all.
Sure.
You can just go in a straight line, and if you really want to, you can add this onto it as well. And just go in a straight line. But whichever way you want to go. You really want to get within 2 inches of one of these in order to investigate it, or if it's in your front arc, i.e. this angle right here in the front, this little indentation, within 6 inches of that.
Okay.
So you could like end right here and do it, or you could, however you want to do it.
It's in the system, and that should be within the arc, so
You are good, you can see that. Cool. So you are set up well. You've exhausted Cisco to do that, because that used up his action, performed this warp action, and now it goes over to me. Also, I want to mention we are currently in the priority phase, so that it happens at the beginning of the turn, and that's when we can allocate and utilize officers to give us better bonuses and more dice to our tests and our attacks and stuff.
Okay.
Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and go. I have got I'm on the right alert here. I'm going to move with 8. I can go 16. So I'm going to go ahead and enter the system. I'm going to perform a warp maneuver. It's going to cost me this character to flip them over. It's going to cost me 1 energy, just like it did for you. Going down to 5.
And then entering the system, like this just marks the system. It doesn't matter if you, it's at the edge of the system, so you can
to cross this line. You got to warp essentially.
Right. But it's not something that's like you have to go in between or anything like that.
No, this is supposed to just represent. You could have half the number of these markers. It gives you a clearer picture of the overall system.
I just wanted to make sure.
Okay, cool. So I'm just going to go. I'm not going to go that far, I don't think. I'm just going to move up here 10 to that point. And I warped and I entered the system. Now you are at range if you want to investigate this objective token.
Absolutely.
Yeah? Cool. So what we're doing here is we're consulting the mission for this particular action. So I'm going to look at. Oh my gosh, where is it? I should mark this page. Alert statuses, mission action. So this is our action right here. I'll show this to your camera. So this is the mission action right here. This is what we're trying to do. And this is telling us threat analysis. So we have to have somebody that is in that station, which is the instrument 6 section right here. And then we're going to test equal to our command stat, which is currently set at 3. So you're going to get 3 dice. And you would add discipline if this character had that stat, but they do not. So that means you're going to exhaust them, and you can re-roll a number of dice equal to your sensor stat, which is 2. So you're looking for 2 successes on those 3 dice, and you can re-roll up to 2 of them.
basics of it.
Does that count as 2 successes?
That is a breakthrough success, in fact. That's really good. Now you can reroll one of these. That blank is doing nothing for you, so might as well roll it. There's no negative results here. That's it. So the good news is you got 2 successes that you needed, plus you scored a critical success.
Okay.
And because this is the same color as you, per the mission rules, you're going to remove that. You're going to get 1 for just succeeding at the test, and you're going to get another for rolling a breakthrough on a blue objective.
Okay.
Which is great. So you got 2 objective tokens there, 2 victory points.
Okay.
That seems great. I'm going to try to do the exact same thing you just did, because that's what we're trying to do in this one. I can roll these 3 dice and reroll up to 2 of them. Oh boy, that's crap.
Not a good start.
Oh, there you go. It's actually a pretty good result. I don't get 2, but what I do get is I get this result, which is an analysis result. And the way these work is I can move my tracker down 1 space towards where I want to go.
Room is damaged.
I got my 2 successes, so I get 1 victory point for that. And then this gets removed. That's no longer part of it. And now it's your go. And that, I had to exhaust this character.
Weapon or something like that. Or you do a random card.
So I would presume that I would want to continue to try to get objectives.
Yeah, so I think you probably want to move at this point.
Yeah.
In order for you to move, you need to exhaust a character that has these 2 symbols, and they need to be somewhere in this section, either in the bridge, instruments, or tactical. So you could exhaust this character probably.
Okay.
Would be my suggestion. So
That symbol, and it's got the 2 symbols.
he's got the 2, yep. So you're going to flip him over, and then you can move up to this stat here. So this tells you your impulse maneuver. What is that first number? I can't read it.
The blue one? Oh, the red one is an 8. 8. And then there's a 3 underneath
Yeah,
it.
so that means that you can move up to 8 inches, and you can turn with up to 3 turn increments. So the way that works is that each increment of a turn lets you turn this thing 1 or 2 spaces. Okay? So you can turn that however you go.
Okay.
So where do you want to go?
I
You can move 8 inches.
like to try to get in.
Yeah, I think you just want to point towards this one and do your thing, right?
Yeah.
So you want to probably turn this back 1 increment here like this.
Okay.
You take your ruler, you line this thing up here at the front.
And they just go in a tile.
There's number 1 here. There's 1. And you can move up to 8.
Okay. And does it slide it like?
Yeah,
where
it
does
slides over top of it. Yep. You just slot that in there. Yep. Just like
Okay.
that.
And where? How did, like?
Move up to the 8 point right here. It's as far as you can go.
Here to here.
No, you just move this.
They want to find
You let go of the ship. Yeah, you don't move the ship at all. You just move this up to where you want it to go, and pick the ship up, and just slot it right in. Just like that.
That's a lot easier.
Yeah, pretty simple. So a lot of times, like when I move the ship, like I will place this token down first. I'll get it angled where I want to, and then I just move the ship out of the way.
Sure.
Slot this thing through. I usually kind of slide it through the bottom. Do one of these. And then move it however far I want, and then just slide this thing down.
What that does is make you move.
Because trying to maneuver with the tackling, maneuvering the ships and everything is just like, okay, don't knock anything over. We'll try to position.
It's not nearly as precise as a tackling typically is.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Well, you've gone over there. I need to get over here and get this one.
Now, if you're moving,
So I think I'll do that.
And boom,
I'm gonna. My turn value is up to 2, so I can go 1, 2, so I go up to 90 degrees. Then I'm gonna zip up to 8. 8 inches here.
which is not so bad. Sometimes you just do it here.
We head back to India.
Okay. And the third use for these cards is when a chair either on.
I'm just gonna zip up there and do that thing. I am not quite close enough to get that, unfortunately, but that's okay.
I place 4.
Now it goes back to your turn. You need to have a character actually in this station in order to perform that. You could exhaust. So I don't think that this turn we can actually investigate those currently because we both use both these characters. So now you have a choice. You can perform another impulse maneuver if you wanted to. You could change your alert status if you are planning on maybe like going to an attack in a later turn.
What do I have to do to refresh the characters?
That'll happen at the end of the round after you pass and after I've passed.
Okay.
If I notice they're about to move over here and I'm not close at all over there,
I'm not sure what else because like my objective is to explore these objectives, right? So.
Yeah, totally.
So I does it make sense for me to pass then?
Yeah, because you want to stay close to this.
Yeah.
The next turn you can investigate that.
Okay, so I'm gonna pass.
I think that at this point, probably all you really want to think about doing is you can change your call alert status up here if you want to, up to 2 stages.
Okay.
Which means you can go all the way up to red alert if you wanted to.
Because you could get aggressive. There's a potential enemy ship in the area, so maybe I'll just go up to yellow alert.
Yeah.
And
just being on caution.
yeah, and that is that direction. Okay.
Very cool.
Did I need any?
No, because this doesn't have any requirements for it. So
yeah.
if you perform any of these actions and you don't have characters to exhaust to do it, it costs you 1 extra reserve for every symbol you have.
Yeah.
And you can only attack 1 time each turn. So that's the kind of the only thing you can only do once. Or you can perform these other actions after the priority phase, but because you don't have officers to allocate to them, it costs you more of your reserve, which you use to perform actions, to shield things, to fire weapons. Like it's the ubiquitous stat for you being able to do stuff. Okay. So you kind of want to save that as much as possible. I don't think there's very much I really want to do, except I am going to perform 1 impulse maneuver to get within range of this. I think. But I don't have. I have this guy I can exhaust actually.
All right.
No, I worked with him. I exhausted him already. So I actually have to spend the 2 energy or the 2 reserve in order to perform this.
Do the adjustments.
Yeah. And I'm just going to go. I'm just going to go like that.
Okay.
Cool, and then I'm going to pass. I don't think there's anything else you really want to do for the turn, so you probably want to pass as well.
Yeah, I'll pass.
So then when you pass, at the end of the round, you go to the ready phase, and that's when you flip over up to 3 of your officers.
Okay.
You recover energy equal to your reserve stat here, which is up to 3, I think, for you.
Okay. Yeah, it's
So you
3.
go up to 6. You max out at 6 again. Okay. And then you can change your alert up to 1 stage. I'm going to choose to change mine to yellow as well.
I'll stay at yellow.
Yeah, and then that lets me change my status to a yellow. Also allows me to change some reserve. Cool, and then this gets passed to me. I get the first action for the turn. I'm going to go ahead and go. I will perform my mission action by exhausting this character here. Same situation as last time. I'm rolling 3 dice, and I can reroll up to 2 of them.
3 success.
I'm going to roll this one just because.
Still a success.
Gets me that, but I still don't get what I really wanted, which was a breakthrough, so I get 1 of these victory points. So we're tied up. It's the only one that's left at this point, so go ahead and go.
Okay, so... what did I do? It was sensor, or no, was it tech? It was this one here, right?
Yep, it's somebody in the sensor's location, and then you're rolling equal to this stat plus discipline, which you don't have. So you just roll the entire time.
Okay.
And then you're re-rolling a number equal to your this stat right here, number 1. So you roll 1 dice equal to your sensors.
So, that's my re-roll?
Yeah, that's how many re-rolls you get.
And it changed because I went to yellow alert.
Yeah,
so.
because your status went down.
Okay, so...
That's pretty good.
2 success, yeah.
So you probably want to use that to move this 1 station here, and then you're going to get your victory point.
Okay.
Cool. So at the end of this round, we're going to go to the next complication. It is currently set on this, so we're going to go to my complication instead of yours.
Okay.
Our venue had those.
So we might as well advance to that now.
Sure.
And this essentially means we're going combat. So this is kind of a timely thing because we can learn about combat stuff. This is Outpost Ambush. Without warning, deadly energy beams pierce the darkness. The Dominion's purpose is revealed. As armed strongholds were somehow hidden in the depths of the system, the Federation outposts raise their own defenses and both sides prepare for a sudden, sharp combat. Leave the solid objective tokens in place, but place the color of control marker shown for each. So that means that this one is going to become...
So they've had these.
Where are these? Here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So that Christmas, I buy them a gravity.
So this becomes orange, this becomes orange, and this becomes blue, and this becomes blue.
Wrapped everything in it, and then wrapped that box. And when we saw those last night,
The round this complication is revealed, during this phase, each player may increase each of their ship's alert dials by 1 position. So if you want to, you can go higher into red alert. Sure. More towards red alert. So I want to go to red.
I'm planning on doing I'm going to give you all 4 of the turns.
Yeah, I think I do. All right, so I'll go to red alert as well.
We're going to do a tournament, and you get replenished per round.
We also set all of these to our hostile side.
Thank you very much. I really enjoyed this.
Good, I'm glad you did, man. Awesome.
Crunch.
All right.
That's fun. Thank you. Have a good rest of your show. I hope you find some good games.
So we get victory points for destroying or disabling enemy ships.
Hey, you got one?
And we also get victory points for attacking our enemy outposts. So these are yours, these are mine.
Okay.
So I'm trying to destroy those two, and you're trying to destroy these two, if at all possible. You can, you have to get within range to attack them, so within 6 inches, and then you make an attack against it. If you're successful, you remove an objective token and you score a victory point. If you're within 2 inches of it, you score an additional on a breakthrough success. So you really want to get as close as you can to the enemy objectives and blow them up, and also attack your opponent.
Okay.
Cool?
Give it a try.
Alrighty, cool. So I'm going to go first. I'm going to go 7 and 2. So I can go 2,
Leave on the table.
and I can move 7 inches down this way. I'm actually only going to do 1, like this, I think. I'm going to move 6 down to here. I'm going to move my ship down to the end, and I'm going to use my last position. Actually, I'm going to move here. 5, and I'm going to use my last position to move 1 extra turn here. So you can use your movement increments to like turn on the dial if you have unspent turning.
That's
So you can move at the beginning and end. Okay, cool. Your go. Oh, that was an impulse move. I used my Gemidor second.
I will use my daring first officer, and because he still has the abilities, and so now it's a 6 inches up to 2 notches. I think I want to try to go that way. Try the full 90.
Yep. And you can go up to 7, I think.
6. Sorry.
Let's make it easy. That's awesome. Just move the tool to the end. Yeah, I want to move the ship all the time too. And then just slip this guy down to the end here. Lock him in. There you go. Then your range for your guns, just so you know, you are currently outside of range, which is 6 inches, I believe, for your range
6
here.
inches.
6 for your phaser batteries, 4 inches for your phaser cannons. You can launch a torpedo at me if you want,
Okay.
but that will be on your next activation.
Okay.
And I'll get a chance to reply to that as well. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I can fire out the side of my ship, but I'm not close enough to you, so I'm going to go 1 there. I'm going to move.
Now you're happy with those Yu-Gi-Oh cards you got yesterday.
Is there, I know it's got the arrows on the side, but is there something that indicates that you've got the side, the ability to shoot out the side?
Yeah, so you see these little symbols here? So
Okay.
you've got these phaser cannon batteries, which means you can fire out the forward left and forward right quadrants. So this quadrant and this quadrant, obviously. And then also this is the full front, so the first full front 180 on your attack. My guy only has attacks to the front and to the rear, and this is also the rear attack too. So you have some options. You can shoot all different directions.
Okay. That's
Cool. Your go, man.
cool. Okay, so
You might be within range to shoot me with an okay shot. You could use this, your phaser cannon batteries, if you wanted to.
so that would be front right, which is,
Yep.
well, it's not.
It would be from here to here. So I'm within this range. It's essentially this arc right here.
Sure, let's see how that works.
Why not? Cool. All right, cool. So you look at your weapons power. You have a weapons power of 4. You can only spend from 1 to 4 for this. For every weapons power you spend, you add 1 dice. So I would roll these 4 dice. I'd probably spend all your weapons power.
Sure.
Why not?
And then do I have to use my tactical in order to...
Yeah, you'll
do this?
utilize him, and he has Ordnance 1, which means he adds 1 black dice to the attack as well.
Okay.
So you flip him, you roll on these, and you're looking for at least 2 successes to hit me. And you can also re-roll up to 1 dice because of your sensor
From the
stat.
sensors,
Yep.
okay.
This is probably the best one to re-roll. It usually has the best upside. Yeah, so this counts as whatever result you want. So I assume it's probably another success. If you really want them. Cool, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 against me.
Okay.
You did not roll any other thing that has pierce or anything like that. So that is enough to hit me for sure. Then I've got shield, so I look at where this attack is landing. So you're shooting here, you're going to hit me in, you can target the fore or the aft. You probably want to shoot the aft because I only have 2 shields in the back.
Sure.
So what I can do with those shields is I can use 2 of them because I have 2 shields in the back to reduce that damage, which is currently 2, 4, 5, 6 by 2. And I can reduce this down here by 4. Actually, I have a good question about that. Let me look at one thing. Cool, so I will continue to soak more of this, I guess.
Oh no.
2, and then I take 2 points of damage. So I'm going to go, my hull's going to go from 5 to 4, and then from 4 to 3. The unfortunate part is once I hit that 3, I hit this critical effect mark, which means I have to draw one of these cards and apply it. Okay. Which is exploding panels. I assign to a bridge station. I got to choose any one. An opponent may spend 1 of his ship's peril to move this card to another bridge station. Then the officer at that station suffers 1 damage. Okay. So I don't currently have any peril on it. I have to repair from the med bay. I have to repair my relays. So this essentially just closes out an entire station. So I can't really do very much. I guess I'm going to do it up here on the boarded diplomat station.
Okay.
So these exploding panels are causing problems.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun dun dun.
I find it interesting. There's looks like a class-specific damage deck.
For each ship type, yeah.
Yeah. So if I was running 2 Defiant types,
you'd have a
would they
separate deck for each one.
Each one has their own deck. Okay. That's interesting.
Cool. Well, that was pretty good shooting. Yeah. Very nice.
Good job, Vigilant Security Chief.
Vigilance Security Chief, and whatever. I don't know what race that is, but he's a cool-looking dude. I don't recall what those guys are.
Benzites?
Benzites? That might be.
That's I just heard. I'm probably
the artist we have for this game is like a huge Star Trek guy, so he's like, "Oh man, can I do this race?
Yeah,
can I do this race?"
Awesome. I'm gonna get lit up if I said it wrong, but
no worries. Okay, cool. I'm gonna try to do this mission action against this because I don't think I have a great attack against you right now. So I'm gonna attempt to do this. Demolition salvo. Phasers or detonate range. Polaron beams. I've got phase polaron beams. I am within 2 inches here. Yep, within 2. Cool. So I'm making my test. I'm testing my security, or my ops stat, which is 4, plus ordnance. I have ordnance 2, which is pretty good. And I can re-roll, damn, up to 4 dice. Holy crap. So this is not that hard for me to do. So we're going to attempt this attack on the thing. I need 2 successes here.
I was gonna say this is when all the blanks show up for me usually.
Yeah, and I can re-roll 2 of these dice. Re-roll these 2. Plenty. I did it.
That was great.
Cool, and I got a breakthrough success in there too, which means I score 1 victory point, and because I'm within 2 inches, I score another one. So I got 2 victory points for that. That's pretty solid. And then that one is gone.
Okay, that's not good.
Not great.
And
then that is my attack guy allocated. So I can't really attack you this round either, so that's something to bear in mind.
Yeah, although
I did it to blow up your space station.
Yeah, although Cisco, he's not in one of the spots for impulse, right? It has to be
No,
one
you
of
can
these.
still use them. So any of
Okay.
these stats up here, remember, you can use them. Anybody that's on the bridge section, any of these red sections, can fill in and do these other
Okay,
actions.
okay. And he's got the stuff to do an impulse action. Question is, do I turn to keep fighting at you?
Blow
or do
that
I
up
go
to get
for
victory points.
Yeah, because
Depends. I mean, right now I'm sitting at 3 hull. If you blow me up, you get 2 victory points,
Okay.
and the game will end, essentially.
But how often do I get off that good of a shot again? You know, so
You have a pretty good stat at blowing this thing up, because right now you're looking at 4. Oh no, you don't have a guy here to actually do
Right.
it, so you can't actually attack this one this turn.
Right.
You can't really perform an attack. You could set up for next turn.
I could maneuver to get closer, and yeah, so it does have a side arc. Okay, so what I think I would do is I would probably impulse forward, and turn afterwards.
Where do you want to go?
Probably.
Facing that thing?
Well, because if I turn this way a little bit,
Remember, like, if you want to shoot at this thing, you have to get within 6 inches of it. So it's like, you're there right now.
Sure.
You don't even really need to move.
my logic was moving a little bit forward and then turning so that I'm already kind of in chase mode after you, but still able to get a side shot off.
So you can only attack those things with phase, what is it? There's only certain types of weapons you can use.
Okay.
Polaron beams, phasers, or detonate range.
So I've got the full 180.
On phaser. Oh, those are phasers. So
Yeah,
that
they're both
counts. Yeah,
phasers.
you can attack with that. Yeah, so you just have to make sure that like the halfway point is still across this thing.
So, and I can choose if I want to do left or right side.
Yeah, I mean typically if you want to turn that way, you put the 2 on this side,
Okay. Oh yeah, because
or you could turn it up this way and go across it. You usually don't have the movement tool go across the ship. You usually do it on the side and then move it down.
I guess the question becomes, do I want to try to take these 2 things out? But then you might get that before. So I'm trying to decide if I want to go for that and then try to blow you up before you get there. That's the stuff that I'm trying to decide.
Yeah.
Alright, well I'll try to do what I originally thought.
Okay.
And then regret all my decisions later.
That seems good.
This way. That's awesome. Does it have to be right at the 4 inch, or can it be
Any amount up to.
any amount?
Yeah.
I'm gonna come here then.
And then rotate.
Then rotate.
Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, now I'm in the target, and so are you, and so is the objective. So that seems like a pretty good spot to be in.
That's what I was trying to do. So in my head it worked, and I'm glad the maneuver worked.
Okay, well I've already exhausted all these characters, and I've got exploding panels here, so I can't do any actions in that spot. So I am gonna pass.
Okay. And I had to use Cisco to do that. So I'm out of people, so I have to.
You can do standby stuff in the next turn if you wanted to spend a lot of energy to do stuff in the standby phase.
For now, since it's demo, I'll pass.
Just keep it nice and simple.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Cool. So we refreshed 3 characters.
Okay. I
You
like
can
that.
move any characters around in different locations. I'm gonna move my Karema Researcher to my medical bay to hopefully get rid of these exploded panels.
Okay.
Interesting.
And then I guess the priority would go to me.
Correct.
Okay.
Back to you.
I'm going to try to shoot at this.
At that objective? Yeah, sounds good.
I'll use my
Yep.
I'll use my phaser cannon batteries. Oh, no, it's got a left quadrant, so it should still.
Yeah. Oh, one note.
Sure.
If you're within 2 inches of it, you can potentially score another victory point. That's how I got this one. I don't think you're within 2 of it right now.
Either,
Could you have moved in such a way that it would allow you?
That's it too.
Is it 2? Okay, you're good. Never mind.
Well, hold on. That part's not.
I can tell you.
No, this is the 2 mark right here. It's just outside.
If you wanted to, you could have probably turned and changed your sitch so you would have been more like this. You want to do that to try to potentially get another victory point?
Sure.
Okay. You would have turned a little bit one less, I guess, in the increment.
I'm not yeah. So sometimes I'm just like, oh, I gotta live with the decisions I made. You know,
This is true. This is very true. We could just go back to how it was.
Yeah.
As it was. All right, sounds great. Cool. So your attack value is equal to your weapons power.
So
It's up to 4.
and now I see the ×3, ×2. I don't know what that means for the fire. But
Just that you have 2 of those total that you can fire. Yeah. So you've got 1 out this side, 1 out that side, 1 out that side. One that's all around.
Okay.
essentially.
Okay. All right. So,
Because you might want to fire, this one and then also that one.
Oh.
If you have enough weapons power to do it.
Okay.
It just tells you how many different arcs you can shoot that out of, essentially.
Okay.
Like this is ×2 because you got the left and the right arc.
So would I be able to shoot both in the same turn?
If you split your dice up, you could.
Okay. I won't. I want to guarantee that.
Yeah, that seems like the way to do it.
I forgot to. I already flipped them.
Cool. So it's this stat, which is 4, plus your ordnance. So I think your ordnance 1 or 2.
There's ordnance 1 on
1.
him.
Cool. So you're gonna add that plus these 4 dice.
Okay, that's just the yellow one here. That's the.
Yeah, that is your it's your op stat is what you're looking at. And you can re-roll 1.
Yeah. Okay.
This can count as anything, so you probably want that for a success.
Reroll.
The analysis doesn't help you very much.
That was a blank. Alright. That didn't do so great.
It's actually not that bad because you got the 2 successes you needed, plus you got 2 of these, which gives you an advantage token. And advantage tokens are things that you can spend to give you bonuses to rolls. So you have 2 of these that are on this ship, so just keep that in mind.
Okay.
I can find you another token here.
So then this would be.
That is removed. And then, did you get a breakthrough success?
No, just
Let me look.
regulars.
I don't know if
If the wild can be used.
the wild can be a breakthrough or not.
And there's
I
a
can't remember
breakthrough on the die, but I could see it. That would feel really strong.
that. It is pretty good, I know. Discovery. The player may change each die with that to any other face. Okay, yeah, so you can turn that to a breakthrough.
Okay.
So you will also get 2 victory points. So let's just do this. That's 3. So you got 5, and I have got 4.
Okay.
Nice. Well done. Very cool. Okay, what am I going to do here? I'm not too worried about this thing. I think I'm going to use an impulse maneuver, so I'm going to exhaust this guy. I've got 7 and 2 is what it looks like. So I'm going to go back 1 here, and then I'm going to jam up your 7. And I've got 1 extra turn, and I'm going to turn like so. And I don't know if I'm within range of that. I am, so I can attack that next turn. Excellent. Your go.
Alright, now I want to hard turn somehow.
You can turn up to 90. Well, actually, what's your speed? 2. Yeah, you can turn up to 90 essentially. So you can do. I assume you probably want to do one of these.
Yeah.
And like what, 6 or something?
I don't know if it needs to be. Maybe like 4.
Here.
Yeah.
How's this look for you?
Sure, that should be.
Maybe a little less, so you have more room to turn.
Because tighter turn.
Okay. You are within 2 inches of this. It could be a good or a bad thing. We'll see how it works out. That results at the end of the turn. I'm gonna go ahead and blast that thing. Let's see what I can do here. I'm not within range to do it. I have a feeling this might wind up a tie game. 1, 2, blah, 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 blah. I have Ordnance 2. That's pretty good. Oh my god, I crushed it.
Holy cow.
Jesus. Holy crap. Alright, well
That's a roll.
that will succeed at that, but that only gives me 1 victory point. So I gotta do that, I gotta turn this into that and get rid of that. So that's gonna give me 5 to your 5, and now all the objectives are removed. The game ends at the end of the round when each of the following happens. Control markers have been removed from each solid objective token. Destroyed or disabled. A tie goes to the Dominion player. Oh no!
Oh, what? That's rigged.
I know.
That's like, okay, I should have gone after you then.
I didn't know that. I didn't read that part. But that gives you the gist of the game. That's more or less how it functions.
Yeah.
By and large, I think it's cool. It's definitely some fun stuff going on in it.
And then this is not this. Say for this thing, this is not the starter set. This is like just
It's
the
a preview.
initial.
Yeah,
it's a preview kit.
The starter set comes with 6 ships, a bunch of extra stuff. Like you get 6 of these. You get a bunch of extra crew cards on top of that. There's
Lots
quite
of
a
scenarios, and I heard it was like campaign play too.
Yeah, there's campaign play in there. You have a bunch of cards that you can use to play individual missions. Yeah, a lot of stuff going on.
I see 6 on. Is that like points for deck building or shipbuilding?
Yeah. When you sit down to play, you have a certain number that you can spend on crew for every ship.
Okay.
And then there's also like equipment costs, and then there's also a cost for your ships. So these ones I believe are 0s. This one actually costs 3 of your supply points.
Okay.
Because the Defiant's pretty good. So yeah, you would make a fleet out of those points.
Okay. This is the first time I've looked at the back. That's cool. That's very helpful.
So the backside of each of the cards is pretty much the list building stuff and general stats for what you need, and then all the gameplay stuff is largely on this side.
Okay. Shiny Picard.
Yeah. It's a promo card that comes in the preview kit.
I don't think I've seen. I don't think Attack Wing did any foil anything. So
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're planning on doing some foil stuff, some alt deco on ships. A number of different things.
That's great organized play fodder too.
Yeah, for sure. Should work out pretty well. Well, any general questions about the game or anything I can answer for you?
I like it. I like the theme. There feels like a lot more theme going on here, and then the scenarios will make it better.
Yeah.
I know it's supposed to be 3x3, and for recording purposes, this is to indicate the edges of the map.
Yeah, but we'll make a mat for the game. It'll be a 3x3 play mat. Be a free one.
Do you, is there I know in Attack Wing, if you flew off the edge, you were just kind of like escaping the sector. Is there a similar concept here? I mean, because you got to warp out anyway.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's
not
ships
that move off of the play area are... I can't remember if they're delayed for a turn and then they come back in off of the edge.
Okay.
Or if they are removed from play. I don't recall that. It's in the advanced rules.
Yeah, but it's since there's no dial with guessing what your maneuver is going to do, and you can kind of just go the distance.
Yeah, you can kind of pre-measure most of the stuff and go where you need to.
That's not really a thing anymore.
Yeah,
so.
that's kind of why the movement system in general is like a little bit more forgiving, because like we just want people to be able to do what they want, as opposed to trying to do it and then being disappointed by it.
Or I bumped into the planet again.
Yeah. It's a bit deflating when that sort of thing happens.
And then these are for like just
Yeah,
status tokens?
we didn't really play with those very much, but how those function is, say you had 2 Defiants in your list, this would be Defiant number 2, and then you put the other token on your ship display, and then the other thing is when you are in or out of systems, to keep track of it, you should technically put a System 1 token on here, because this is System 1, to keep track of where the ship actively is. So if it gets knocked over or something like that, you know what system it's in case there's any sort of question.
No, this is really cool.
And then you also can use, you can perform sensor locks, and if you perform a lock on an opponent, you are better with torpedoes. I guess we didn't really fire off a torpedo. I can kind of explain how that is, because it's kind of a cool mechanic. So the torpedo essentially gets to be placed anywhere. You use this off of the front of the ship, and it can go all the way up to 1 notch on either side. And then once you've chosen where it wants to go, so say this is our setup here, I'm like this or something, I would want to fire a torpedo off the side towards your ship, and I would place this thing here on the end of it, so that's why that has that little notch in it. That's where it starts off, and then you put onto it, you decide when you deploy the torpedo, do I want to put a 1 fuse counter on it or 2 fuse counter on it? That means that this is how many turns it will actively move before it detonates.
That is cool.
Yeah, so this thing attaches to that, and then it would move, like, for example, in this turn, you would look at your torpedo reference card, which is this guy right here. This tells you what the evasion is to shoot it, and this is how far it moves. So in its turn, it would then move up to 4 squares away. So you just measure from here to here, like you just off the back of the torpedo. It would move up 4, and then if it gets within, I think it's an inch of an enemy, it detonates. But right now, say this had a fuse of 2. After it moves once, I would flip this over to 1, and then it would move 1 other time. Then you have an opportunity to get out of the way, but if you have multiple ships, you think about it, you kind of like set up, like, if you want to, you can set up and fire multiple salvos with multiple ships, and just kind of like deny whole areas of the board. Like nobody wants to move into that. So you're like, holy crap, I don't want him to get that objective. I'm gonna fire torpedo, like 3 turns, and then steer my ships off this way. And now you're like, oh crap, I can't get there now, because if I move in there, I'm gonna get hit. And torpedo hits are pretty lethal. They're pretty gnarly. So
that's a really neat mechanic. It truly feels more like a torpedo where you see a fire
and you see it move, and you're like, oh my god,
yeah.
You know, like do what you need to. But
that is really cool. So,
yeah, the torpedo mechanics are pretty sweet.
So Star Trek Into the Unknown.
Yeah.
April
next year. Yeah.
April next year.
Preview kits will probably release. I think we're gonna hold off and unrelease them, because normally we release them like really far in advance of the game, and we found that we kind of lose a little bit of hype when it diminishes. So I think we're going to shore it up a little bit closer. We'll probably release the preview kits latter part of this year, early part of next year, I imagine. Okay. We send them out. And we'll send that out kind of en masse to people. But
the ships are beautiful.
Yeah, they turned out really nice. The Defiant especially, I think, has like a lot of cool detail on it. Really teeny tiny tampos. I don't know if your camera can pick that up, but it has like a little tiny USS Defiant on the front. Very cool.
I think it did. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Oh, of course, man. That's what I'm here for. It's always really rewarding for me, because like I work on these games with other people for months and months and months, and it's awesome to actually like show them off to people.
Yeah, I can finally talk to people about it.
Yeah, I can finally talk to people about it, and plus it's like this is the first time I've actually got to hold a lot of these components in my hand, so it's like it's pretty awesome to like hold something in your hand you saw like in a CAD program so many months ago.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Well, Scott, thanks a lot for the game, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you hanging out, playing some games.
Your name is?
My name is John.
John.
Pleasure, Scott. Pleasure.